advertising for gas stations in Turkey in the 1960s. Experiments on animals to determine the effects on the body of being upside down for a long time in a NASA laboratory, 1958. At 21, Catherine Leroy saved up for a one-way ticket to Saigon. She became one of the most celebrated and fearless photojournalists of the Vietnam War, 1967. Amy Winehouse will always be a legend, and here she is in the 1990s. "18-year-old Penelope Cruz in 1992. Joe Dante, Amanda Peterson and Ethan Hawke in Explorers Behind the Scenes, 1985. Sean Young in New York during the 1970s. Gaming in the 1990s was a different ballgame. Thomas Edison at his home. The Soviet state-sponsored interfaith conference about world peace is held near Moscow, with around 27 different religious organizations attending the meeting, May 1952. India and their hairstyles, 1920. Iraqi Vice President Saddam Hussein with his security director, Nadim Khazar, 1970s. During Saddam's rise to power, Khazar became notorious for his brutality and love of personally torturing state enemies. Rosanna Arquette and Madonna during the filming of Desperately Seeking Susan, which premiered in 1985. The Clinton family during a visit to the Moscow Coca-Cola plant, May 1995. Warm lunch vending machine at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Klondike Gold Rush, Klondikers buying miners' licenses at the Custom House in Victoria, British Columbia on February 12, 1898. One of two nuclear bombs aboard the B-52 bomber that crashed in North Carolina, United States, January 1961. The Microsoft staff, 1978. Vicky Dugan and Anita Ekberg at a Hollywood party, 1957. An unusual competition for the most elegant smoker, France Paris, 1935. Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, practicing for a possible air raid, 1942. Mallorcan woman in national costume, 1930. Annalie Patterson, Miss United States, 1931. George Harrison with actress Hayley Mills, 1964. Alicia Silverstone at the 53rd Annual Golden Globe Awards on January 21, 1996, at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, California. A xenomorph chilling behind the scenes of Alien 3, 1992. Woman driving 1900s. Dream Number 1 electrical appliances for the home Great Stir, 1948. Bob Kane, the creator of Batman, showing off his vampire cape at the premiere of Batman Returns on June 16, 1992, at Mann's Chinese Theatre in Hollywood, California. Members of the Short Tail Gang, which terrorized New York City's East Side, gather under the pier at the foot of Jackson Street, 1887. All Sergeant Bernard Young lacks is a private secretary to complete his office setting on May 3, 1951. The Detroit, Michigan, military policeman takes his ease in almost deserted Chuncheon, South Korea. The whipping post pictured above was put into use around 1885 at the Baltimore City Jail, where until 1938, many of those convicted of wife-beating were punished. Behind the scenes of Star Wars 1977. Kim Basinger and Robert Redford, 1985. Man vs. Goat Island, 1950s. One of the replica Christopher Columbus ships that sailed from Spain for the World's Columbian Exposition in 1893. New York City. An elderly woman plays the accordion for change on the subway. 1970s. Ray Samuels has the last bottle of beer that was distilled before Prohibition started in Chicago. The bottle of Schlitz is insured for $25,000. It's 1930. "21-year-old Swansea tailor Harry Pelter, winner of the title of the strongest man in Wales, 1935. Actress Shelley Duvall on her wedding day marrying artist Bernard Sampson, July 7, 1970. London, 1937, a policeman protects children from the rain. Yvonne Craig as Batgirl, with Cesar Romero as Joker and Eartha Kitt as Catwoman, on the set of the TV show Batman from 1966 to 1968. German troops use a Schwellenflug to destroy rail tracks while withdrawing from Soviet territory, 1944. Demonstration in Prague, early 1950s. September 1964, Malcolm X meets with PLO in Egypt just after his Gaza visit. Adolf Hitler and Eva with Ursula Uschi Schneider. Bodybuilder scene at Venice Beach, California in the late 1970s. Dental reconstruction, early 20th century. A monk is at the Temple of Azure Clouds. It's a Buddhist temple in the eastern part of the Western Hills. That's just outside the north gate of Fragrant Hills Park in Beijing, China. It was around 1915 to 1920. Joan Collins being a total smoke show sometime in the 70s. Mixed family posing for their group portrait, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, circa 1940s. Private First Class Milton Reintz of Green Bay, Wisconsin, adds a picture of Mitzi Gaynor to his bunker full of pin-ups at his post in Korea on December 18, 1952. Richard Chamberlain and Yoko Shimada in Shogun, 1980. Coca-Cola in Dublin, Georgia in 1912. A parade float from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, 1927. Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci on the set of Raging Bull, 1980. Surgical trainees observe coronary artery bypass graft surgery performed by cardiac surgeon Denton Cooley, 1970s, United States. Princess Diana, Jennifer Connelly and Ludo at the London premiere of Labyrinth, December 2, 1986. A man builds barbed wire obstacles on the Somme, September 1916. Southwest corner of 43rd Street and Broadway, New York City during a blizzard, 1937. Darth Vader shows off his 1977 Toyota Celica with R2-D2 and C-3PO 70s. Photo booth shot of a mixed couple, 1950s. Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec as artist and model Maurice Guibert, c. 1900. Boeing XB-15 with models in swimsuits on the wing, United States 1940s. (1908) Portrait of United States President Theodore Roosevelt. A soldier who lost both legs in World War I plays billiards, 1915. In 1944, after 3 years of separation, a French tank commander was reunited with his mother during the liberation of Alsace by Allied forces in Strasbourg. People sleep sitting and lying down at Grand Central Terminal's main waiting room in New York City during a massive power failure on November 9, 1965. The area is lit with emergency lighting. Greek boxer and strongman Just Lesses demonstrating his prowess by bending an iron bar around his neck, 1925. Alice Creed in her iconic costume as the Borg Queen, alongside actor-director Jonathan Frakes. She described the atmosphere on set as a carnival due to the cast's excitement at being reunited, 1996. Miner's cabin built of barrels at Tonopah, Nevada, circa 1906. Women collecting firewood, Altai, Gornaya Shoria, 1913. Linda Twardowski, a recent Citrus graduate, explained the basics of diaper changing in a childcare class, using her son Charles. The girls also were taught prenatal care, cooking, and budgeting. 1971. A GI gets a close-up photo as President Nixon meets with troops of the 1st Infantry Division at Di An, 12 miles northeast of Saigon, on his 8th visit to South Vietnam and his first as president on July 30th, 1969. Soviet soldiers and Yugoslav partisans are celebrating after the liberation of Belgrade in October 1944. Arnold Schwarzenegger meeting his fans in Moscow, 1988. Capture of an escaped polar bear in Bergen, Norway, 1953. Jennifer Aniston, 1990. Pam Grier, 1975. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip at the horse races, 1968. armed German separatists in the Rhineland who established the Rhenish Republic during the French and Belgian occupation of the Ruhr region, 1923. Freddie Mercury eating soup in bed with his cats in 1987. Cinder Lake Crater Field No. 1, photographed after an additional 96 craters were added in October 1967. Arnold Schwarzenegger and his brother Meinhard in 1967. Astronauts sample wild-caught food during jungle survival training in Panama in 1963. Reichstag Fire Incident 1930. At just 15 years old, Marion Bergeron from Connecticut was crowned Miss America 1933. Leonardo DiCaprio and his family, 1976. Woman asking for books for the troops in Europe, New York, 1919. Rubber beauty masks used to get rid of wrinkles and age spots, 1921. Miss NASA, 1971, an Apollo 8 landing capsule. Shoshone tribe members dance on a Native American reservation at Fort Washakie, Wyoming, 1892. Adolf Hitler gives a speech at Christmas, December 1940. Jane Mansfield, now 50. Michael and Janet Jackson, 1995. Arnold Schwarzenegger, circa 1950. A German woman facing public humiliation because of a romantic affair with a Polish man, 1942. Father and daughter on a walk, 1969. President Truman and the Committee for the Renovation of the White House, 1949. Robin Williams playing the Sega CD in 1993. The hand-constructed Explorer vehicle, made by the astrogeology branch of the United States Geological Survey, is field-tested in June 1967 on an extremely blocky lava flow just west of Hanks Trading Post near Flagstaff, Arizona. Kate Bush, 1980. Members of the German-American Bund form a guard of honor before the speaker's stand as Fritz Kuhn, leader of the Bund, addresses a crowd at Hindenburg Park, La Crescenta, near Los Angeles, California, on April 30, 1939. The Avro Canada VZ-9 Avrocar is a disc-shaped vertical takeoff and landing aircraft developed as part of a classified United States Army project in 1959. Grace Kelly on the set of The Country Girl, 1954. A Man Plays with His Elephant, 1980s. A Dog Harnessed to a Carriage, Amsterdam Kingdom of the Netherlands, 1890-1910. The Great Chicago Fire, 1871. Betty Broadbent, Venus Tattooed, Australia, April 4, 1938. Interior of the Whale House of the Gairnex Tiedi clan of the Tlingit peoples. The ceremonial house was located in Klukwan, an ancient village on the banks of the Chilkat River, Alaska. Circa 1895, the 1970s van customization craze. Audrey Hepburn, south of France, 1966. Crowds outside the Bank of the United States in New York City after its failure in 1931. Miss America, 1968, Deborah Dean Barnes from Kansas. September 7th, 1968, Atlantic City. Visual effects supervisor Volker Engel inspects the miniature New York City set of Godzilla in 1998. (1916). A Bavarian observation pilot suffered severe frostbite after filming from an altitude of 5,000 meters. Frostbite is clearly visible in the area of the face that was not protected by the pilot's helmet and leather mask. NASA's massive wind tunnel used to test aircraft. A Boeing P-26, a fighter mounted in the 30 by 60 full-scale tunnel, 1934. A multi-celled triangular kite, 1902. Electroretinogram apparatus devised to measure the electric potential of the retina, 1930s. Charlie Angel actress Tanya Roberts, posing with animals to promote her film Sheena, Jungle Queen, 1984. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston at a Radiohead concert in 1998. Tony Hawk and his father, Frank Hawk, in 1987.